these days there's no limitations. I mean, you spoke about when you got into business 10 years ago, but you know, when I got in business, if you weren't prepared to mortgage your house and take a loan out, etc., then you were really in the shit that you couldn't start. Whereas now, serious. You know, you get a laptop or a phone and you start up an account and you get on Shopify and you can start selling something, whether it be a service. And so the entry level is so much easier, which is, we're just living in such a beautiful time. And I'm 53, I turned 53 last week. So, you know, thank you. But I mean, I just find now, it feels like sometimes I'm just getting started.
I was going to, that was my next question. You're just warming up? Like 53 is the new, I feel like 33 in business, but...
Look, the one thing that, I had this discussion last week. Well, my dad passed away in 2013. When he was 50, he felt like an old man. Now, I think my kids probably look at me and think, he's an old man. But, you know, I think there's these stereotypes that we grow into. But now, you know, all the things that you've got to do for yourself, looking after yourself entrepreneurial-wise, health, mindset, health is one. And I just love what I do. So from my end, I just see all these opportunities. And since about 2014, I've also got involved with the coaching, business coaching, which I was really pissed... Receiving coaching. And I was pissed off I never got it earlier, you know. And one piece of advice I always give to people is never listen to the non-achievers. And I was at fault of that because I'd listen to non-achievers telling me, oh, you don't need coaching. And they'd never been coached. But, you know, what I've learned from that is it's like anyone who's trying to sort of make whether you're a sports person or whatever it might be, you need to be coached to take you to places and stretch your thinking out. So where it's actually stretched me out is that now I've got a coach I utilise in Canada. And at 60, 65, when people talk about retirement, when you actually analyse it, you're at the top of your game. All the relationships you've learnt and earned over the years, you're there, your knowledge, your experience, and then what, you're going to give all that up and go on the golf course?
Well, your kids are out of home.
Yeah.
So you've
more
got
time to do shit. You know, exactly.
As much as your wife or partner would be shocked to hear it. It's like, now I can work even more. Yeah, you've got all those relationships. You've got cash because you've obviously, if you've been smart. Yeah, and probably ideas that you've had kind of sitting in the pot cooking for... But
I've never,
years.
like, I love holiday time. I like getting on a plane, going somewhere and vegging out. But I'm not someone who will burn 4 hours a week on the golf course. Like, it sounds stupid, but sometimes my ideal day off is just sitting in my office and just writing down ideas or thinking about the next big thing.
Just clearing that.
I love that, you know, and I have learned that you take those 3 days to sort of revigorate your mind and body. But no, my wife knows that retirement is not a thing for me. And I actually, when I look at it, the people I've seen retire age. Like my father-in-law, I remember when he retired, you know, a couple of years later he was gone.
I'm worried about my dad. He just sold his business and I guess he's clearing out the last of his stock and he's retired. And he's like you and me, like he's lived it like every day, 24/7. He wouldn't turn it off for because he was a sole trader, but could operate from anywhere in the world. So he'd go on holidays and have the mobile phone, and you know the mobile phone you probably had like
the old big one,
and I just don't know how he's going to handle retirement. I think he's going to go crazy, and I don't know if he watches these at all. I've never actually asked him, but I can imagine within 2 or 3 years something will come up. Like he can't, not because he won't even allow it to happen. It's
good though. I mean, look, I don't think there's anything wrong with people selling their businesses.
He's done it a few times.
You know, but then what are you directing your energy towards? Even if you want to direct your energy towards a cause, but staying involved...
I think his will be the stock market. I think he'll play.
Yeah.
I think he'll just keep trading and...
I mean, I'm always thinking, where would I like to test myself? Like, would I go into an industry that I've never, ever gone into before and do something? But I just think that we're in an industry that it's so massive and it's connected to so many other parts.
Well, you'd have so much unfinished business.
Shitloads.
But your market share percentage, I imagine, is low, as successful as...
Export's a real big one for us. You know, what we've learned over the last few years with our Gripset brand is that the fact and the way we do things differently, but we make really good quality products, that there's a really strong alternative out in the marketplace. And, you know, we've looked at buyers of our products that sell our items, but our true customer is the guy on the building site applying it. And understanding their pains and where their wins can be with your products makes life easier for everybody. So now we've set up a training business now around the country, which has been great with our GAP program. In Australia, moisture and dampness, which is the cause of mould. Mould now is like the biggest issue globally for health. And they're linking it to Alzheimer's, to asthma, to a whole lot of allergies, even some cancers. And the World Health Authority now are talking about how, World Health Organisation, WHO I should say, are talking about how mould is the sleeping issue that's within construction. Like asbestos, etc. So it's all links back. So in Australia now, building defects and dampness is the number one cause. Where do we play our part in preventing that? You know, we can't be these crusaders going to say we're going to make every house dry or building dry. That's not our issue, or our aim. But there's things that we see in this country where you go and buy a house. Doesn't matter what income earner you are, whether you're at the bottom end or the top end. And so we've done homes that are sort of for the first home buyer, or we've done the mansions. And people in 10 years or less than that are renovating a bathroom because the shit just doesn't work. Now, a 10-year-old house is still new.
Well, it'd still be under warranty, wouldn't it?
No, that's the irony.
Okay.
That's where this issue is.
I thought builders did like a 20, they had a 10 or 20
it's bullshit. You know, in Australia now, this is where our industry has it, is there's no accountability. So most states, 5 to 6 years max is the builders.
So what the builder's forced to give, or what the builder chooses to give?
The builder's forced to.
Okay, so
and the builder won't give more than that.
No.
So none of them do.
Dance for it.
So then, you know, you're thinking, okay, so what that does though, and I'm not blaming any builder, but the government have just, in this whole issue, have created the problem, because then Australians, this was the country that people came to because, you know, the great Australian dream was to own your house. Now, it's hard, if you're in a city like Sydney and you're spending a packet to buy a property compared to what it is in other states, and then you've got to go and renovate a $30,000, $40,000 bathroom because some prick didn't build it properly, deliberately. You know, the issue is then accountability stays that if you were forced to give a 10 or 20-year warranty, the selection of materials and the type of tradespeople that come on those sites all changes. But now the mindset is, I've only got to protect this for 5 or 6 years and it's not my problem.
And like you touched on before, it's not the builder's fault, it's the economics of the world. Like, they're the rules.
Yeah, people work in their boundary. We've got boundaries and we're working. Like, if there wasn't a 60k sign on the Kettleville Terrace, people would drive 80. You know,
was it Kerry Packer that said anyone who pays more tax than they're meant to?
Yeah.
You know, like it's the rules.
Exactly right.
So what do you do? What are you doing?
So from our end, you know, we are a real believer. Our why is to be a contributor to building generational buildings, and that what we mean by that is that buildings. Like when I was a kid, going back to what I said in my history, I remember tradespeople when the foreigners came to Australia, and even the tradespeople back then, they took a lot of pride in their work. In that it was what they called the master trades, and so places lasted. Like, there was never that renovation or that building works that we see now in terms of repairs so quick. From our end, we want to make sure that we can, and waterproofing is just such a disaster because it's not a recognised trade. So we're trying to implement change within the industry between trades, authorities, but our brand, we want it to be the catalyst for change. So we've started to be part of the change hashtag. That's a real big part of ours. And creating a consciousness that it doesn't, and this is the irony, to waterproof properly, we're talking about less than 1% on the total cost of the home. To spend another $100 by a builder to do it properly, a lot of it's education, a lot of it's awareness. What I am buoyed about now is the way social media's changed the game. So a lot of young trades guys out there, these guys that put their work up on Instagram every day and Facebook, they're the ones you want to trust because
you can see that it's done.
The old school guys hurry up and cover it up so no one sees it. Yep. These guys are, you know, they're showcasing their works. They're open to train. They want to make sure that they're doing the right thing. Their reputations, everything. They're engaging their builders. Yep. And so I see these next 10 to 20 years a really exciting phase for construction, and we want to be part of that. You know, and the R&D that we're doing with our lab, with some of the new developments we have for products that are connected to moisture. But also, you know, tiling systems and, you know, things like environmental. We've got to reduce the heat absorption to homes. We've got to try and generate energy that's cost effective and how we're doing all that. So we've really branched out with what we're doing, and it's exciting. It really is exciting.